on the Ottr Culture Podcast. Welcome back, you crazy mother friends. How you doing, Max?
Yeah, good, you?
Yeah, you?
Oh, it's so weird.
Just me and you.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had alone time
What's
like
that?
this. Cough syrup. I've got a bit of a tickly throat today, everyone, so if it sounds a bit dry, just know I've got remedy in front of me.
Are you just necking that?
It says a teaspoon or a tablespoon.
So naturally you just send the whole thing?
One of those spoons, so yeah, I just kind of hit it as a shot.
Right.
Because roughly, one shot in my mouth is about a tablespoon.
Joss, could you check that?
Tablespoon.
What do you want me to check?
Can you just do the arithmetic?
Yep, checks out.
Okay, nice. Fair play.
This has actually got ethanol in it. I read.
Really?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of ethanol. Not enough to kill me, but just enough to tickle the throat. There we go. Yeah, it's actually the first time I've ever taken cough syrup, and it's the weirdest shit I've ever put in my mouth.
Mate,
Cough syrup. A lot of shit in my mouth.
That's getting clipped.
Yep.
Cough syrup is actually very, very, very tasty.
It is.
I used to really like it. It was probably my favourite medicine as a kid.
Oh, Calpol was mine.
Yeah, that. Joss, what was yours?
Also, definitely Calpol.
Yeah, Calpol was good.
Top tier.
Yeah.
100% top tier.
Cough syrup, though, what was your favourite flavour?
Oh, I can't remember. I just remember it tasting amazing.
Yeah.
I remember getting a cough and being like, oh, fuck, I've got a cough.
This is honey and lemon.
No, mine was like blackcurrant or something.
Oh.
It was weird.
They did have cherry, but cherry I'm not a massive fan of. Cherry just reminds me of, like, cleaning products.
Yeah.
So I'm not
It's
into
never
drinking
like
it.
true cherry, is it?
No.
It's just some weird like.
I don't want to put that in my mouth.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So yeah, this is where I'm at. It's because we've had a bit of a COVID scare in the office, hence why there's only 3 of us on this podcast. Because Ben tested positive for COVID. We've all tested and we're all fine. It's 2022. Who's still getting COVID?
Grow up.
Ben Lawton. Ben Lawton finally got it, and he's like, "Yeah, finally, lads, we've landed. The eagle has landed."
He's waited a long time.
He has. And it's not even cool anymore. Like, what's the actual point of getting it? I think it's because it's off the back of his stag do, which we're not going to address too much of today, because he's not here. And it's only fair that we talk about the stag do with him present.
I think so.
Joss, how are you feeling today, mate?
I'm feeling good. We had a busy week last week. We'll talk about it more in depth. We had a shoot with National Trust, and then Dan and I got back, and it was straight into B. Lortz's stag do. So just fucking getting back into it, really. Getting back into the gym, which I hadn't been to the gym until today for nearly 2 weeks. So that felt a bit gross. But apart from that, I'm all good.
Getting back into the gym, eh?
Getting back into the gym, getting
Nice.
back into everything, mate. Back into the office.
You're getting in a finer shape, ready for Greece.
That's
the
correct.
wedding.
I am. I bulked up a bit, and now I'm cutting pretty extremely for Ben's wedding.
What was your strategy to bulking up a little bit?
Just eating everything that I can see, mate.
Yeah?
Now, to be fair, I think I had a relatively clean bulk, but just like a lot of carbs, rice, stuff like that. You know,
Nice.
Not being an idiot and just actually eating everything I can see.
Fair enough. Max, you're looking good today. This hair of yours is looking really nice.
It's long, isn't it?
I noticed it earlier. It looks really wavy.
No, I don't like it.
Is it a lot longer than normal?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
yeah. I've waited a little bit longer this time just because as Josh said, we were away last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it should be gone by now, but it's not.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're kind of going with it. It's going to go soon. It's just when I can fit a haircut in. But nice. I too have been on a health grind similar to Joss, although doing it the complete opposite way to Joss and just getting fat.
Same.
But now realised how fat I am. So now we're on hard cut, just like Joss. Although to be fair, I feel like you're right because you, as a vegan, it must be relatively hard to eat a lot of shit. Or am I completely off?
Chips are vegan.
No, I completely get why. I completely get why a lot of people think that, but it is. I think Dan, obviously being another vegan, can vouch for me that it's.
Well, I thought you were going to say Dan being fat.
No, you can definitely be a very, very unhealthy vegan. There's so many different vegan things out there now, and you can just eat so much bread, potatoes, you know, and just not work out. You can very easily be unhealthy.
Starchy.
Patatas bravas.
Exactly, patatas bravas.
Spanish potatoes.
Lovely.
Amazing.
Have you been to CrossFit since coming back?
CrossFit today, mate.
Oh, how was that?
Oh, it's so good to be back. Although, so CrossFit starts at 6:30. It's about a 15-minute drive away from where I live. I usually get up at 5:45.
Gross.
5:45. Wake up. I'm like, yep, up, ready. Let the dog out for a little wee. Go and sort myself out, get changed, hit the road, get there early. Today, woke up at 5:45, snoozed the alarm. Well, actually, I turned the alarm off, thinking I reset the alarm for 5:02. No, it woke me up at 6:13. Oh my God. I got up, brushed my teeth in a record timing, got changed, and I got there just in time.
Wow.
It was just heroic.
That's good effort.
Yeah, there was honestly like a cloud of smoke behind me. I had my cape on. It was awesome.
I did that, to be fair. I woke up at I've been getting into a routine. So normally I try and train 3 or 4 days a week. And when I go to the gym, similar to you, I'll go at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll leave the house at about 20 to 7 to get to the gym and get changed. So I'm training by 7. And today I just woke up, and bless Cara, she's been coming with me in the mornings as well, starting her gym grind. So now every morning, not only do I have to convince myself at 6 o'clock in the morning to get out of bed and go and get ready, but I also have to convince Karis, who's lying next to me, who is completely out of it, just fully asleep. And then when she does wake up, is often just fuck off or something.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more difficult. But today managed to do it. So hopefully we're on a roll, 3-day streak so far, and usually I have a rest day in between a session. So hopefully you can keep it going.
There we go. You were in on Friday and Monday on your own.
Yeah.
How was that?
Lonely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never ever associated this office with quiet or dull.
Yeah.
It's very, very rarely quiet. And there was just nothing going on. I was just sat there. I was normally you'd be in an edit and then you have those sort of breathers in a long stint of editing where you zone out for a bit and you're like, okay, what's been going on in the real world for the past hour? And I'd take my headphones off, sort of sit back in my chair and be like, oh, there's no one here.
Yeah.
So that was weird. I'd find myself doing laps of the office. I'd be like, I need to go and clean something in the kit room. And I'd go into the kit room and be like,
it's all clean.
Yeah, it's fine. Just fucking go and sit down, dickhead.
Jeez.
But yeah, no, I missed you boys. It's nice to have you back.
Nice. And that was off the back of a shoot that we did last week, Joss, wasn't it? Tell me about that shoot, Joss.
Yes, it was, Dan. I will tell you about that shoot now.
Proper news report style. I even nodded at the camera to finish that off.
Nice. Yeah, so we had a shoot with National Trust. I always have to think before I say that because they used to be the National Trust, didn't they? But now it's just National Trust.
Nice, Joss.
Thank you. There we go.
Brand
guidelines. Yeah, so it's an internal film for their volunteers and some of their staff. Cool. Can we say what it's called? Should we go into that? It's called The Part You Play, and it's essentially just showing the effect and not responsibility, but I guess, yeah, just the effect and impact that people who work for the National Trust have on people and their lives. And we were given a really lovely script that we then had to go out and storyboard, shot list, and then shoot over 3 locations up near Wrexham and just south of Manchester. So yeah, it was a really fun project, and it's always nice to have those types of projects where you get to think about it a little bit more, you get to be a bit more careful, considerate, and actually, yeah, storyboard, because it's not something we do too often, I guess you could say. But yeah.
Agreed. Max, this is one of your first NT jobs that we've done, right?
This is my first NT job.
Yeah. And it was also probably one of the first jobs that we've been out in the field actually filming. I mean, we had EDP, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think
firm,
EDP was a little bit smaller. I think
this is more story-led filmmaking.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it though. I think it makes such a massive difference when you have so much pre-production to go off.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I can speak for Joss, but I'm pretty sure it just made our lives a lot easier, especially when we were out shooting. Especially because obviously you were doing voiceovers as well.
Yeah.
So it just made everything so much easier.
Yeah. So when we were on the shoot, we we've had it before, and I don't know if we spoke about it on the podcast, but we always try and have everyone's kind of got a natural kind of job role or responsibilities and accountability to the team on what they do. And on this shoot, it was a 3-man shoot. I was kind of taking the more kind of producer role and looking after the client and making sure that we were hitting all the notes in the storyboard because I'd done that previously. Joss is directing the kind of shoot, and then Max was the DOP, which is a little bit different because the shoots that we've done previously, I've been the director, you've still been the DOP, Max, and then Joss has kind of been the camera op who then lines up the shot and makes sure it looks great on camera. How was that taking over the reins on the camera this time and actually being the person manning that?
I found it easier only because it's what I'm used to. Yeah. I've always been on camera. I know what shot I need to get, and I just do it. It was a real learning curve the first time I properly, had sort of Joss on camera and I was sort of more traditional DPing because I find it quite hard to communicate what's in my head sometimes, which I'm sure a lot of people can agree with. But it was really good. It was really, really good. And when Joss and I were left to it and we had some setups, it was, I think we've been working long enough together now where it's like I can leave Joss to set up a shot and do sort of talk to the really just direct, take control and actually direct a situation. It means that we just work quite well together.
Joss, how about for you? So you were directing a lot of the shots, and also kind of making sure that the people were doing the right stuff on camera, which is a little bit difficult when you've got maybe at times 4 people who were over 65 to 70 plus, with a range of different accessibility requirements. Yes. There was one chap who was in a motorized scooter, who I remember vividly. At one point we all said, okay, just wait there 5 seconds, we're going to tell you when to go, and as soon as you said that, he just blitzed off into the clouds.
Full pelt turbo.
Joss, how was that for you?
I guess to echo what Max said, I've always been on camera, and I guess it's similar to what Max said. Sometimes it's hard to explain creative things anyway, but especially I think camera movements or composition or things like that, it can be hard to explain. So it's hard to get across what you want. But that's something I try to take in my stride. And then, like you said, managing people of varying ages who don't necessarily understand. They've never been on camera before. They don't understand what it's like and what they need to do. They don't understand that they need to wait for action. Like with that older man, literally lined it up and he just went before Max had even got the camera ready. But that's because he's of the older generation and he doesn't really understand that. So it's just I think that's something that I've got better at maybe over the last 6 months, especially with working with clients that we've now got on retainer as well. I feel like I've got a lot better at working with people, and that is probably the biggest skill when it comes to directing. You can know technical stuff, you can know as much technical stuff as you want, but if you can't manage people and explain your expectations, what you want from a person, it's really hard. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I smashed this one either, but there's always room to improve, and I think there's stuff, definitely stuff to improve when it comes to the next job. But it was definitely a good job, and I think NT jobs are always fun. They're such a fun client for us to have, and to work with. But it's I think it went really well.
I think this is just something I learn every single time that we do a shoot. It's always every time we do a shoot, I feel like next time I need to be a little bit more kind of assertive and strong in what I want to do. If I want you to walk to that red line and I want you to finish there, I have to tell you straight, walk to that red line and finish there. Whereas sometimes I'm like, okay, if you can just walk ahead and then I'll tell you when to stop. In their head, they are still kind of thinking, all right, is this far enough? Is this too far? Is this not far? So, on reflection, I think this is a tip. I don't know, it's a tip. Who am I to give tips? But just be assertive and be confident in whatever 100%. You say. You have to, if they know, if they can see that you know what you're on about and you're confident in what you're saying and the conviction of it, they're going to believe in you way more than anyone else. So as much as being a wanky director, you have to just take on that directory role and be yep, this is what I want you to do and this is how you're doing it. It's a tricky one, but
100%. I think there's especially if they're not actors, if the subjects that you have in front of you or in your film aren't actors that's not what they do, then they need that direction.
Yeah.
Because if you put a camera in I've worked with cameras for a very long time. Well, not a very long time, but like a longer time than most people now. You chuck a camera in my face, I'm still going to ask you, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Because I haven't got a clue, because I'm not an actor.
Yeah.
So yeah, especially, I mean, we kind of had our work cut out for us from the start, because we're dealing with people that may never have ever been on camera before, and like just members of the general public, really. So for us to go there with, you know, all the kit, and which is obviously necessary because we needed it to get the shots and stuff like that, but I would imagine having that in your face on set with quite a few people and people from the company that you work for, and then being told what to do, I'm sure it must have been quite daunting at times for them.
Yeah, massively. Something that I've just thought about, and I'm still not kind of over, is the fact that we saw Paddy the Baddie just cruise past us.
That was a weird situation.
But to top that as well, Joss and I were in Dublin Airport getting ready to come home, and we saw him again. We've literally seen maybe one of the most famous UFC fighters of this modern day right now twice in a week.
And
over two different parts of in 2 different countries, Ireland and Wales.
Literally.
What the hell?
And about a week and a half, 2 weeks after he won like a massive fight. Like, he's probably right now more famous. Well, he's at the peak. So far, he's at the peak of his career.
Yeah.
He's never been more famous, you know?
Wasn't it like mental. A couple of days after that fight that we saw him at first?
Yeah, so he fought on the Saturday, wasn't it? And we were there filming on the Tuesday.
Yeah. He was just there with his girlfriend, just walked past us.
To put context to it, we were stood outside Chirk Castle, outside the entrance, this big castle, and we were just waiting for the bus or something like that, minibus. There was not many people around. It was just us three, the client, and maybe another person. And out of nowhere, Paddy the Baddie with his girlfriend or wife and their fat, massive dog, wasn't fat, just massive, just cruises in front of us, weren't they? And he was just on his phone, and I think all of us kind of stood there silently like, wait a minute, is that who we think it is? But we were all thinking it in our heads, but no one said anything until he left.
Yeah.
There was a moment where like the client was walking over to us, and I saw the left-hand side of his face. I was like, I recognise that guy. And then he looked at me, and I'd sussed it was him. And you could see the client walking over to us on our left-hand side. I remember looking at Joss, and Joss was looking at Dan, and Dan was looking at me, and then Joss looked at me, and then Dan looked at Joss, and we were all like, holy fuck, that's Paddy the Baddie. Like, what? But no one said anything. And then the bus driver, like, it all went a bit quiet, and we just carried on with the shoot. And the bus driver came over and just, I don't know if you clocked, just casually as anything, was like, oh, that's Paddy that's Paddy, UFC fighter. I was like, everyone was like, I fucking knew it was him.
Yeah.
What?
It was crazy.
I think one of the main things as well, like, you can tell this from videos that you see of him. He is just like an ordinary guy. He's not like a Conor McGregor, and he comes in like all bolshy, and he's a big character. He just seems like a very down-to-earth guy, which made it even more confusing that he was just there.
He was just wearing a tracksuit, wasn't he? Like, he just looked like just a bloke.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so weird. And then when we were in Dublin Airport a couple of days ago, we were just walking through, and then we went upstairs or something like that, didn't we, Joss? And I looked down, and I was like, that's that same guy again.
Yeah, and he was again just wearing like a tracksuit.
He was just in a queue to get some food. And the queue was massive, and I thought when I was walking by, there's no chance I'm waiting in that queue. But he's waiting in that queue.
You need to humble yourself.
Yeah. I'm not waiting in no queue.
I am.
Yeah, so weird. Such a weird experience to just see someone that famous. Who's the most famous person you've kind of brushed shoulders with, would you say?
Joanna Lumley on that GWR shoot.
Joe Lums, nice.
Joe Lums.
I honestly don't know. I really don't know. Probably in terms of relevancy, like current relevancy, probably Paddy.
Yeah.
I mean, I went on his Instagram afterwards, and he's got like millions of followers.
Wow.
Like a lot of people know him. And he's
cool.
everywhere at the moment, isn't he? Like every other meme is Paddy.
Yeah.
True. I was once in London with my dad in Horse Guards, and we saw Boris Johnson, but this was before he was Prime Minister. That was pretty nuts.
I shook his hand in primary school.
Did you?
Yeah, when he was mayor of
Bojo.
Henley, I'd imagine.
Wow.
Didn't know who he was. Just some bloke in a suit, came into school, shook my hand. I was like, all right, mate.
That's pretty mad.
Nice one. Don't fuck me over on tax in the future. He's like, shut up, Max.
Yeah. You'll learn, boy.
You'll learn.
I'm
coming after you.
Hopefully the NT film, though, it'll be signed off soon. You did the edit over 2 days, smashed the edit out whilst we were away, came back, sent it off. they've come back today saying they really love it. They're just going to get some final comments together. So yeah, hopefully that'll be a quick wrap on that job. But good work, team.
Thank you. Well done.
There we go. Next topic, Joss. Do you have any topics? I've got more if you want to. If I fly with them.
Go on, Dan. Hit us
like
with
a bird.
one, mate.
I'm like a bird.
Go on. You've got a lot of topics there.
Oh my god! I'm just going to look and watching and scroll through these notes.
Saw on the news earlier that a woman has given birth in a Brazilian stadium.
That sounds uncomfortable.
To the song "Enter Sandman" by Metallica.
She gave birth to a song.
Metallica was singing in a Brazilian stadium. Singing? They're all just on stage singing.
Oh, it was at a Metallica concert.
Yeah, Metallica concert. That took bloody ages, didn't it? Metallica performing in Brazil at a stadium. Lady gives birth to the song "Enter Sandman." Off the top of your head, have you got any songs that would be kind of trivial to give birth to? I've got a few. Michael Bublé, I haven't just met you yet. Just haven't. How can I not speak right now? I just haven't met you yet. By the Boobs.
Romantic.
That'd be good. I Want to Break Free by Queen.
Nice.
And my final one, Under Pressure by David Bowie. Wait, did David Bowie sing that song, Joss? Under Pressure? Was that another?
No, that's Queen.
Queen did that.
I think they did it originally. Let me check. Max, have you got a song that you want to give birth to?
That I want to give birth to? I reckon God is a Woman by Ariana Grande.
Nice.
Or just because, why
Power.
not? Yeah, Power, sass. Or the new Drake song.
Who?
The new Drake song.
The one that's
the one that's been on the radio.
That's
all the
Summer
time.
Jam, my favourite song right now.
I'll come out just bopping.
Has anyone seen Greg Wallace recently?
Mate, he's shredded.
Have you seen him, Max?
Greg Wallace. Who?
Wow. That's
What?
Greg, right?
No, that's Owen Wilson.
I was going to say.
Wow.
Greg Wallace is the one from MasterChef.
Yeah, no, Greg Wallace says that when he's in the when he's looking at the massive toilet roll.
Does he?
Yeah.
Is he quoting the meme from Owen Wilson?
No, he's equally as important to say
Dan,
something like
I reckon you've got a better Greg Wallace impression in the locker.
Wow. I don't.
Come on.
No, I honestly can't. I can't
You
think
got
of
to
what he
bring
sounds
your
like.
jaw forward. It's like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow. No, I can't.
He's a proper Cockney though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a proper cockney. No, I can't think of anything. Sorry, Josh.
All right, fair enough.
That was one topic. The other topic I had was next week I'm going to Boardmasters Festival. Whee!
Well, let's get a sound effect on that, shall we? Let's see what we got. Yay!
Nice.
I'm getting good at these. It could be either of those, depending on the weather.
Yeah.
If the weather is shite, I do not want to be in a tent
Ooh.
at a festival.
It's near the sea, isn't it?
It's
like
on-
a surf festival as well.
It's on Fistral. It's in Fistral Beach in Newquay. So yeah, apparently when it rains down there, it pours.
Yeah. I've heard
And
that
it's
too.
hella windy.
Are you intending or planning on doing any surfing? Can you go in the sea there? I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I think so. It's a surf festival, so they got all the pros there. And I think they must be doing lessons and stuff for some people who want to join in. Probably won't need lessons, probably just go straight in the waves.
Nice.
Body surf, if
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, I love it. Well, I love the surfing bit. But yeah, going to go down, film some stuff. Idols are playing, which would be pretty cool, Joss.
Sick. Very jealous of
and
that.
George Ezra is headlining. Thoughts on George Ezra, please?
Mate.
Come on, Josh.
I don't think I've listened to him since about 2015, but
Since he was riding shotgun.
yeah, there you go.
Hot take, cannot stand that song. It was in my head for so long. I didn't really listen to it. Just that chorus. I heard it on the radio once and it was just in my head for years.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's the hot take on that song, but what about George Ezra, Max?
Personally, not a massive fan. I understand the appeal. I don't mind him, but I don't listen to him.
I feel like a lot of people have that kind of thought on him.
He's kind of like, meh.
I think maybe he's not as cool anymore because Sam Fender is cooler.
Sam Fender is the new George Ezra.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Joss?
Yeah, I think we're
Like
all
that.
in this office. We're big fans of Sam Fender.
We are.
Sam
Why
Fender.
I, man.
Man, like.
What about Sam Fender? I think Sam Fender had the biggest rise after he went on TV drunk.
He went on TV. I'm so out of the
Hungover,
loop, mate.
sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I think I have seen that.
He went on the news.
Yeah, I'd never really listened to him before that. Saw him do that and I was like, what a legend. And then listened to his music. If you're listening to this podcast and you also think that's true, let me know. I'm going to take some cough syrup now.
I thought you were going to say if you're listening to this and you're Sam Fender, then get in touch.
Imagine that. What a guest. I would listen to a Sam Fender song when giving birth.
Nice.
What, Max, have you got any topics you want to talk about? Big boy.
That tastes like primary school.
Well, what is the difference, do you think, what is going to be the big, or do you think there'll be a big difference between NAS and Boardmasters? Or are you expecting the same thing, kind of?
There will be a massive difference.
What is it?
I've heard it from the people who work at both, and they said, I'm pretty sure they said that NAS is just full of young ket heads.
Sounds about right.
I don't know if that's politically correct to say that, but after being there, I can confirm that is how it is. When I was there, NAS was a great festival. It was really cool. It wasn't nowhere near as busy. Apparently, Boardmasters is huge. It's really big, and it's rammed because it's on the beach, and it draws in a whole different audience. But NAS, when we went there, it was a week where it was like 30-degree heat, insanely hot. Woke up every day in my tent sweating. Pretty sure I contracted athlete's foot from that festival.
Nice.
Because my feet were so sweaty. Not good for those of you who don't like sweaty feet. Sorry about that. I did write some other notes, actually. No place to hide from. This is a TripAdvisor review. Okay, guys. NAS Festival, extreme heat, no place to hide from the sun. Getting into the pit and filming was good fun. I'm going to rhyme. Another mad thing was I was inside a tent, although I was in the athlete area, which is a little bit more VIP and less general public. I was in a tent with probably like 10k worth of kit. That's good fun. Nice.
Especially surrounded by
loads of people on...
Excuse my political correctness. Ket heads.
Yes.
As you said.
I did say that. And filming famous people, I guess, that... I think when you're filming, you never really take into account who it is. Okay. Although I did make one massive dickhead mistake, and that was that I had the R5, so I was filming on the R5 with the Rode mic goes and a pair of headphones, and I, for some reason, thought, I can't bear to hear like the sound of all this shit going on again, so I thought I'll just swap my headphones and the mics around. So I put the mic into the headphone jack and the headphone jack into the mic jack because I couldn't bear to hear how loud it was.
Right.
We went and did an interview with a big trance DJ called Ben Nicky. I was only using Apple headphones, the shite plug-in ones, and the whole interview audio was coming through the mic jack.
Did it pick up the mic?
Yeah,
wow.
It came through that. So all you could hear was with a little bit of an interview in the background, just me deep breathing, holding the camera.
It's like, so fucking
this is a good interview. Go on, James, get in there, boy. So that was, that's a career low for me. I don't think I've ever done something like that, and I know I never will again. So, if any of you using camera tech like that, make sure your mic is plugged into the right hole.
The mic goes in the mic jack.
Yes, sir. Make sure the mic jack goes in the right hole.
Let's go.
Yes. Further to my review is... And I bought a bucket hat. There we go.
Sick.
I'm now a bucket hat man. Although I bought it, wore it for about 2 minutes, and then took it off because I felt like an absolute dickhead. I was like, now I look like every other ket head round here, yet I'm not on ket.
You need to get some of those like cyclist glasses, the Pit Viper ones. I see that like loads of people I see at festivals are getting them.
Mate, I sent an email to Pit Viper to see if they would like send us out some good shit.
Oh my god!
Because I just thought, I'll just give it a go.
How did that go?
So I'm pretty good at writing emails like that. They said, "Yeah, you sound like the perfect candidate." Cause I don't know the American or
I don't know.
I do an American. Yeah, you sound like the perfect candidate. What we need you to do is, we have to send a homemade tape, to their PO box, but it has to be on a VHS videotape.
What?
They said the only way they consider you is if you send them a VHS videotape of why you should get some glasses.
What?
Yeah, not even kidding. That's what they came back with.
That's insane.
Well, that obviously just filters out people who really don't want a pair. Like, because I saw that and was like, I can't be bothered to do that. Also, don't know how to write a tape.
That's a sick way to do it, because then you're really going to get the people who actually want it.
And I bet they're like, do you know what? Yeah, they've gone through all the trouble of sending us a VHS tape. Let's just send them a pair of these fucking £4 sunglasses.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah, mad.
Fair play.
Fair
It
enough.
says, due to a high volume of weak-ass proposals, Pit Viper is now only accepting physical Sponsor Me tapes. All Sponsor Me videos must be exported to VHS and mailed to Sponsor Me, Salt Lake City, Utah. All submissions received in the proper format will be reviewed by our team and responded to. All others will be ignored.
Surely you're pretty likely, if you send a VHS tape, you're pretty likely to get sponsored.
Yeah. How do you make a VHS tape, though? I guess you just film on a camera that's got a VHS tape inside? You can get those, right?
Yeah.
Can you?
I'm
think
sure,
so.
like, some of the Big Daddy cameras have, like, actual tapes inside.
I think you can get like a box thing, like a VHS player that burns video to VHS or writes video to VHS. I'm sure you can get them.
All right, maybe we should consider it. Consider it done.
We can make
sick glasses.
We can make like the sickest, like super 80s, like little weird dad commercial.
I could do some extreme
It'd
sports.
be really cool. Yeah, even get James Harrell involved.
I could do it in my Ray-Bans.
Rubens.
Say, this is why I need Pit Vipers, because I'm an extreme sport player.
You could take them to Boardmasters.
Wow.
And make a VHS rave cam video.
Yeah.
And then put a Super 8 filter over it. So it's like, whoa, nostalgia, Pit Viper glasses, all about good vibes, bro.
Fast.
Nice.
Incoming. So that's that topic done. I'm going to Boardmasters. I'll see you there. If you're there, see you there.
Or not, because there's loads of people there.
Yeah, true. I'm definitely going to try and get in the pit on Idols, though. They're my favourite band, Max, and I'm looking forward to seeing them.
You should buy a boonie hat with dangly cork things.
Mate, that was one of the topics on my list.
Really?
Yeah. I want to buy a boonie hat big time.
Me too.
We've got to get Ottr branded boonies.
Ottr boonie
mate.
hats is a fucking shout.
100%.
Mate, Will at Grain, they've got Columbia boonie hats. They're khaki coloured and they're getting grain on them.
Oh, mate, we've got to get some.
He said he spent 120 quid on 5 hats.
It's quite a lot.
That is quite a lot, but they are cool.
Is that with the branding or is that just
No, that's just a hat and it's 45 quid for the branding.
I feel like that's the only reason to really start a company, so you can make your own merch.
Yeah.
All right, boonie hats coming soon.
Let's go.
Along with Pit Viper glasses.
Come
We're going to be the
on.
ultimate chads.
Ottr Pit...
Wow.
Dan and I were discussing this. Where were we discussing this? On the way to the stag do, I think. We were just saying we need like a nice, like, just flurry of new merch.
Hell yes.
Going into autumn and winter, we need some jackets, some hoodies, some boonies. Cause, yeah.
What's that? Otter fleece?
Because the sun.
3 quarter zip.
Oh,
Let's
All
go,
right,
mate.
we need to speak to our financial team, see if it can happen.
Please, Ben.
please.
There we go.
Otter wardrobe.
Talking about wardrobes and stuff, dressing drippy.
Smooth.
Any new releases soon? Any new things that people have bought?
Ooh.
Let's go.
I finally bought some new shoes.
Come on, Joss.
Let's go. Oh, shall I try and get my leg on camera to
Yeah,
show
go
them?
on.
If you're listening to this, I'll try and describe them, but I'll try and show them to those.
You've got to try and get it on. There it is.
There we go. All right. For those of you that could see them, and those that couldn't, I got some New Balances. Again, like my camera that we spoke about the other week, I have commitment issues to making purchases, and I've been toying with what shoes to get for a long, long time. And I finally bought some New Balance, and yeah, I'm very happy with them. Very, very comfy. Love a nice grey pair of shoes. They're very solid.
I second that.
Thank
Very
you,
clean
Max.
steez.
I
They
know
look
if Max
fast.
agrees, I've done the right thing.
100%.
There we go.
Max is
Confirmed.
our in-house sneakhead.
Green light. Green light. Green light.
Green light. Dan's got some new shoes.
I have. I've got some new shoes too. I've got them off my feet.
Wow.
There we go.
Nice.
These are the Tom Sachs general purpose shoe. Pair of shoes that when they released, I was like, I fancy a pair of those, but couldn't get hold of them. Actually, they got released and I was away, and I asked my lovely girlfriend Hannah, I said, can you please make sure you try and get these shoes? Text her in the evening, she completely forgot.
Nice.
Nice one.
Nice.
Don't worry though, still love you. It's all good. We're still good.
Good.
Right, Max?
Good.
Don't question it, yeah?
Sorry, yeah. Sorry.
Man like Toby Pollard came through with a hookup with the, what do you call that in the sneaker world?
Plug.
He came through with a plug.
He niced you with that.
Yes.
Properly
Well,
sorted you out.
So he put a story up saying, good pickup or something like that. And I just praised them big time. And he said, what size are you? And I said, 9. They're a 9. Next thing you know, linked me up, plugged me up.
What a guy.
Is it called Plug Me Up?
Yeah, if you like.
He plugged me up. And I had the Nikes on my shoes. I had the Nikes on my feet. make my
Nice. Cypher complete.
Yeah, within an hour of seeing that story, and I'm very, very buzzed by it. And I've been wearing them most days since, because they are a general purpose shoe and they are there to be worn.
They are sick, to be fair. I feel like they look different to how the release images looked.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to look as clean.
Yeah, they're really nice. They are well comfy, to be fair. I don't remember the last pair of Nike shoes I had. But yeah, I've got some information about them, but it's all pretty pointless. But if we look back at some of the original Tom Sachs Mars Yard 1.0s, they're now selling for £11,000 resale.
11,000
resale
Dead
of the originals.
Wow.
Was that like a limited release? Is more of this run been on sale?
So with the original ones that are £11,000, they're never going to make they're never going to make those again.
Right.
With these ones on my feet, the Nikes on my feet that are making my Cypher complete, they are supposed to be re-releasing in October.
But these are like the general, as it marketed, the general purpose, like they're made to be more widely accessible. Because the last ones that came out like sold out in seconds and are very, very difficult to get your hands on.
Yeah. Sachs has said he essentially wanted to take the humble sneaker back to its original purpose of just being worn for the sake of being worn, rather than for getting clout among sneakerheads.
How do you think that went?
Well, I mean, when you're that famous and you're making a new sneaker, sneakerheads are going to love this shit.
You're instantly going to have clout because it's got Tom Sachs on it.
Yeah.
Like,
do you think I mean, it's Tom's, like, he's super famous in the world of everything that he does, and in his eyes, he probably does want to make a shoe that is not famous among sneakerheads, but it's always going to be famous among sneakerheads. Do you think he's aware of that? Is he self-aware, or is it just like is this a really good marketing ploy?
I think he's probably aware of that. I think on some level he has to be.
Yeah.
I think the only way to really fulfill that, if that is your goal, that is the main goal of the shoe, is to be just a shoe. And I feel like the only way to do that, like, he could have made that shoe and released it with JD or something like that, and he would have achieved that goal. Because I feel like that's the only way. That's like what New Balance have done with the 550s. Like, when they first came out, everyone was talking about them. They were like, "Oh my god, New Balance 550 are amazing!" Like, just I remember we had a look at them, like the Aim Leon Dore ones.
Oh yeah,
are like £400-500.
So nice.
But that's what they were when they first came out. Even the normal New Balance ones were like still £300-400. God. And now you can go into JD and buy a pair. ASOS just did a run with them. I'm pretty sure they're still sat on ASOS.
Crazy.
You can just buy them normally. Like,
it does make you think, though, and I don't remember if you ever saw about it, but Patagonia once released a jacket, or no, Patagonia did a marketing campaign about "Don't buy this jacket," and they had a massive billboard. Did you ever hear about that?
No.
I've heard about it.
So they had huge billboards all around with like a jacket on, and then big bold text above it that said "Don't buy this jacket," and it was about. And I don't know if this is true or not, so fact check me. But I'm pretty sure with them doing the advert, they actually sold shit tons of those jackets.
They
it kind of spun on its head, but they didn't want to, and they were meaning about, like, because Patagonia are kind of earth focused, they would, like, reuse, recycle, stuff like that. But actually, it kind of did a 180 on them, and they actually sold a shit ton of this product. But yeah,
but then I would like that in it. That obviously that's a marketing campaign, because they're not going to bring out a jacket if they didn't want it to sell, right?
I don't know how I feel about that, because like, if you're gonna put all this marketing budget into something, and even if you say don't buy this jacket, putting that much into the marketing, people are going to buy it. I assume their intentions were, like, obviously, like you said, Dan, they're a very, like, earth focused company, very sustainable, if you like. But I don't know how you can say that and then not expect that to happen.
So they said that the advert wasn't successful in its intended purposes, as sales rose 30% following the campaign. It did raise awareness of an increasingly pressing problem, and that was the proliferation of fast fashion brands such as Zara and H&M has, bloody hell, these are big words, exacerbated the negative impact of consumerism on the environment. So I think what they were saying is, like, don't buy this jacket, like, you don't need to go to H&M and Zara and buy all these extra stuff. But by doing that, they did increase their sales by 30%.
But surely if you don't, like, surely that is the point of advertising, is to sell.
Yeah,
even regardless of what you put on it, it's still an advert.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's still promote it. It's still showing that what they should have done is say, don't buy this jacket
for the sake of buying a jacket.
On like a black screen with nothing underneath it, or like maybe with the Patagonia logo underneath it. And so it's got nothing to do, like you can't see the jacket. It's not actually selling the jacket. It's just a screen that says, don't buy this jacket.
To add to it, they also did that the way they did it was on Black Friday, and they put the ad in the New York Times.
Oh, bro.
I remember that now, yeah. That's so stupid. Just don't do anything for Black Friday.
It's just weird though, isn't it, that a company like that would, I don't know, mate, is this when they're just too smart for their own good?
It's definitely like, if that was just a marketing thing, 100% it works, like makes complete sense. But don't then try and play that off as, oh no, because we didn't want you to buy it, blah 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 blah. That's like giving someone. That's like me telling you that Joss has said shit behind your back, but don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So obviously you're going to now worry about it, and obviously you're
don't worry.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
They said we're placing an ad in the Times because it's the most important national newspaper and considered the paper of record. We're running the ad on Black Friday, which launches the retail holiday season. We should be the only retailer in the country asking people to buy less on Black Friday, but we're in business to make and sell products. Everyone's paycheck relies on that. Moreover, we're a growing business, opening new stores and mailing more catalogues. What do we tell customers who accuse us of hypocrisy? So,
you tell them that you're not actually sustainable.
Weird.
I don't know how I feel about Patagonia. Do you remember we looked at their jackets a while ago, Dan? And like me and you being vegan, I guess we were a bit more careful with. Well, I don't want to speak for you, but I know I didn't want to buy a jacket that had duck down feathers in it.
Oh yeah,
because I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's not sustainable, really. And most Patagonia jackets are made with duck down feathers, and it's like, well, how are you saying you're sustainable? I guess it's recycled and you're making use of the materials, but there's still a larger problem there. And like they even said in their statement, they're a company that needs to make money. It's like, well, in that case, I guess everyone's a hypocrite, but you know what I mean? It's an ending cycle. You can't really win. You can't be a business that needs to make money and also say that you're sustainable when you're doing all that damage.
I think it's got to a point now where like being or producing vegan clothing or like sustainable clothing is now a marketing campaign in itself. It's now a selling point. Like I'm not being funny. You could tell me that this is vegan or this is made with 100% fucking plastic, or not plastic, 100% fake duck down feathers. I'm not going to open it up and look or run scientific tests to make sure you're not just talking shit. I'm going to be like, oh, cool. I'll buy that.
Trust it. I guess you trust brands too. The whole thing about what you were saying there is called greenwashing. You heard of that?
No.
And so greenwashing is when an organisation spends more time and money on marketing itself as environmentally friendly than on actually minimising its environmental impact, which shit tons of companies will do.
So many now.
We're great. So like BP probably.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, we're going to fucking save the world by helping you charge your electric car because we're great, but fuck me, all the other shit that they've done over the years and how bad they are as a company is actually really bad. They said a classic example of greenwashing is when Volkswagen admitted to cheating emissions tests by fitting various vehicles with a defect device with software that could detect when it was undergoing an emissions test and altering the performance to reduce the emissions level.
Unbelievable.
So they fitted a device that did that.
That was a huge scandal, like maybe 5 years ago. I think people coined it like Dieselgate.
They paid a lot for that.
They paid a heck of a lot in fines. Going back to the BP thing, I remember seeing some report, and it was BP had spent an absolute fortune, like in the billions, on like their greenwashing campaigns, and BP are also the company that invented carbon footprint.
Oh, really?
I could go down such a rabbit hole with this, but like,
do it, mate.
They invented.
Go off.
Basically, BP. I hope it's BP and not Shell. It's one of the two. They basically coined the term carbon footprint, and that's essentially taking the blame off of themselves and putting it onto the consumer and saying, this isn't our fault because this is your carbon footprint. This is your responsibility to make these changes. And then with that, that wipes their hands dry of all of that damage. And then, they're with all the greenwashing campaigns that then they're. To be fair, they're a big company in the EV space, but it doesn't take away from the fact that they've just had a record quarter and made $7 billion in profit when the country is suffering.
Yeah, well, so Josh, as a vegan, then I know that you, prior to having the EV, you've always been quite conscious of travelling, and actually, you've said it to me before that you kind of always felt a little bit guilty actually going away or driving abroad, or not driving abroad. So you felt guilty or bad about driving to down to the coast because of the emissions that it produces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You've now got an EV. Were there any other kind of factors that made you rethink that whole strategy and the way you feel?
When you say rethink, what do you mean?
Because didn't you you did a job with a relatively big YouTuber.
Yeah.
You spoke to him about it. I don't know if you want to go deep in that or not.
Can do, yeah. Well, I don't know actually how I ever not got into it, but you know what I mean, became aware of it. But for a long time, Charlotte and I made the decision that we didn't really ever want to fly again, or unless we had a reason to.
Yeah.
And then what came in turn with that is we really wanted to cut back our driving because one, with fuel prices going up, it was expensive, and then just guilt. We would hate it even driving down to Bristol, which is only 40 minutes, but it's just always felt riddled with guilt because we watch a lot of documentaries and videos about all this stuff, and with the carbon footprint thing, it's I couldn't help but feel guilty with everything we were doing, and that was the same with with the vegan coats and clothing. It's I can't help but feel guilty about all these things, and maybe that's a big problem that I feel guilty about those things. But yeah, I've gone down a bit of a weird rabbit hole there. Do you want to re-ask the question?
I would just say, without turning this into some sort of weird vegan propaganda podcast,
yes, let's go.
What would be some ways that people can feel less guilty?
Okay,
in living on this world.
So going back to that project that you mentioned that I did with that person, he is a big YouTuber and person in, I guess, the climate change space, and runs a company that supports awareness and makes all these documentaries and things about it. And he often gets ridiculed online when he's seen traveling or doing these things. And I guess the way that he has to deal with that himself is the fact that he's promoting a message that has some positivity behind it, and he's showing the effects that these things have, that all the things that the world is doing wrong, he's showing the effects that that's having. So he's hopefully raising more awareness just by being the one person that goes there and shows that thing.
Yeah. By educating.
I mean? He's going out there and educating. He's not just going off on the jolly for the sake of it. So yeah.
Nice.
I don't know. It's a weird rabbit hole that I could probably talk shit about for hours.
Well, it'd be good to maybe we'll revisit this in the future, but with a different frame of mind, or with someone else in the room who can spin off or give more information on it. I'm sure there's people out there who can riff a bit better with it and actually kind of
definitely.
It'd be cool to get a guest on who you could say is an expert in that field.
100%.
And we can ask them these questions.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd love to learn more about that stuff as someone that hasn't. I wouldn't even say I am now, but really, joining Ottr, it wasn't really until then that I realised the amount of stuff that I do that isn't good for the environment, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or really, like when you were talking about, you didn't want to drive to Bristol because of car emissions and stuff like that. That has never cropped into my head at all until you got an electric car.
Yeah.
And we started talking about it and stuff like that.
Yeah. And that was to kind of, I guess, close this off, that was another point that he made when I was speaking to him about it, and it was there is no such thing as a perfect climate activist. Everyone is a hypocrite and everyone is guilty. Being alive and eating these things and buying these products, there's certain things that we need to buy and use to live, really. And that's more of a societal thing, and that's the situation that we're in because that's just where society is now, and that's something that needs to come from the top down, from government. And that's a bigger problem. But you can't beat yourself up about those things because that's kind of the only options. And I guess that's kind of how I try and always bring myself back from that guilt, because I watch these documentaries and these videos and I think, fuck, what am I doing? Why aren't I making shit or doing stuff in this space because really that's what matters.
Yeah.
But then it's like, well, let's get back to keeping it all relative and thinking can't be perfect in that way.
Damn. Well, there we go, Max. That was a
what
deep
a
topic,
detour.
wasn't it?
Sorry, team.
I've taken you from the Patagonia jacket all the way down into this hole. Don't feel
Still.
bad. Everyone's all right.
I was saying it's kind of mad,
Kind of mad, and don't feel
but
bad.
also don't feel bad.
Nice.
Thanks.
Just to let you all know, I've hit the limit on notes on my phone. I can now not create any more notes on my phone.
That's outrageous.
I didn't know there was a
It
limit.
wouldn't allow me.
How many notes have you? Have you got like loads of notes of like bread, cheese? Well, not bread and cheese because you're vegan, but loads of shopping lists.
Just bread.
Just so many notes of shite,
Just like
man.
100 notes of bread.
Just so many bread. Yeah, just crazy. It's really, really crazy, Josh.
There we go.
There we go.
Well, speaking of being climate sensitive and living a very green lifestyle, let's now talk about the complete polar opposite, which is Formula One, and a sport that is very, very, very inefficient.
If you're hungry.
We've all, as I'm sure a lot of people in the UK and all across the world apparently, have been interested in, got into Drive to Survive on Netflix. I myself have been a motorsport enthusiast for a long time, and it's been interesting seeing the deep ins and outs of Formula One, because you don't see at all any of it until you watch something like that and you get a real behind the scenes. What do you make of it as someone that's fresh into F1?
I will go first here, Josh. Thank you. I was just looking at you like,
Sorry,
is he gonna,
I was looking
gonna
on the
talk?
screen.
Are we looking at I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I think I watched the Drive to Survive series in lockdown, one of the original lockdowns, probably backdated it after that. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. I need to now watch all of the previous years to get up to grips with it all. It's the most gripping, encapsulating, tantalizing, scintillating TV series I've ever watched. It's so good. And even if you don't like car racing or Formula One or sports, you have to give it a go. Because it's not just sports, it's drama.
Yeah.
It's speed, it's power, it's everything. It's so good.
It shows the life behind racing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it shows the personalities and like the different people who are driving. Like, I never knew that such young people were driving these F1 cars and how fit they need to be, and then that one of their dads owns the team, and then the whole kind of history, the whole drama that goes with that, and all these things. So yeah, it's such an amazing thing. Josh, you've picked it up relatively recently, right?
Yeah. So you boys have been telling me to watch for quite a while, and Charlotte and I had finished some other shows, so we finally got around to watching it, and we, as you boys recommended, we watched season 4 first, so we were up to date with where the current season's at, and now we're going back to season 1, because it follows the season, obviously, alongside the actual F1 season, which is interesting, but it's so good. I don't think I've ever watched like a better put together documentary series. Like, it's the way it tells such an intense story every single episode. It's amazing. It's so fresh and new, and yeah, I love it.
As Max, as someone who has been into motorsports for quite a while, or you were into it before Drive to Survive?
Not as much, but I used to watch the odd race. But I feel like I didn't connect with it on a deeper level than that because I'm not a racing driver, and it was hard to relate to it. But I just enjoyed watching it. I've been a car guy forever. My whole family are car people. So,
do you think the rise of Drive to Survive has been a good thing for the sport?
100%. 100% is only a good thing, because it's only going to bring more spectators, more money for the sport. Not that it needs more money, but the only thing it can do is make it better, I think. Because now we're seeing new tracks open up. Like America have just opened up, like, I think 3 new tracks or 2 new tracks.
Yeah. Wow.
So if anything, the calendar's going to get bigger. The events are going to get bigger. It's going to be easier to go to these events because I'm pretty sure it was historically it's not a cheap thing to go and watch. And if anything, it's just going to mean more investment from companies to make it more of like a day out, more of like an Ascot or something like that. When Silverstone comes around, it's an event. It's a whole weekend. It's not just, let's go to watch this football match, which is just one day, and it's just a couple of hours of one day. So yeah, I think it's a really good thing.
I think a lot of people were saying I think a lot of the purists weren't too into it though. Is that right? Is that because they feel like it kind of dramatizes something that doesn't need that, or?
I think there's probably an element of like gatekeeping kind of thing, like in any, you get it a lot in photography, like film people. Sorry, Josh, you're not one of them, but I know a lot of film people that are like, I'm a film purist. I shoot film. That means you're not allowed to, and if you try, you're doing it wrong. So you should just stick to digital.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine there's a lot of like pure racing people that are like, oh, you haven't been here since 2006. You weren't here when no one was watching it. I was watching it way before everyone else, so I'm the only one that's allowed to watch it, which is just a ridiculous way of looking at anything, I think, because surely the support of more people can only be a good thing. The only way that I could see it being a bad thing is this element of like pay to win. So now, as you said, like Lance Stroll, who is a racing driver currently for Aston Martin. Yeah, Aston Martin.
Yeah.
He got into Formula One famously because his dad owned, not Aston Martin, but owned the company that he was racing for. Mm-hmm. So the only way I could see it being a bad thing is if you get these, rich CEOs or rich companies just suddenly start buying F1 teams and putting their own drivers in just as a cash grab. But I'd argue that was probably already going to happen.
And their sons have still got to be, good at the sport to actually make it.
Yeah,
because otherwise it's going to be really embarrassing for them.
Yeah, like I could go and buy, if I had the money, obviously, I could go and buy a team tomorrow and put myself in as the driver because I own the team, so it doesn't matter. Like I just put myself in there. But there's no way that I'm going to keep up with Lewis Hamilton or any other driver literally any other driver on the grid, even the worst, quote unquote worst of the bunch. There's no way a regular person that hasn't been driving for as long as they have is going to keep up.
Yeah,
no way.
That's true. And there's been a recent retirement too, Joss.
There has. Mr. Sebastian Vettel is retiring.
And did you say the other day, Max, that he was on Question Time?
Yeah, I don't know how recently, but he was on Question Time talking about the climate crisis.
Yeah.
And he's very well known for being a big advocate for the environment and everything, which is ironic because he's a Formula One driver, which he's been grilled about a lot. And I think that's one thing whenever he posts about something like that or whenever he talks about it, he gets a lot of backlash for that. I'm talking about him like I know him personally. But but no, I think it's interesting to see what he's going to do next. I think he's going to use his platform for big things, I think.
Nice.
Definitely. I think just to touch back onto that topic, I think that is like a perfect thing to keep in mind. It's that like everyone's a hypocrite, but also everyone can change. Like Vettel, yes, he's been an F1 driver, but why can't he use his platform to then do some good? Why does he have to be ridiculed for doing such thing?
100%.
Why not celebrate the fact that he's raising awareness? Sure, okay, he's a hypocrite, but he's actually trying to do some good.
Well, he's also got the money.
Yeah,
he's got the money and he's got the following and the audience to actually start to make an impact.
Exactly.
Who knows? He might head up the environmental side of F1. Yeah, maybe they'll be more in tune to actually wanting to make a difference because one of their biggest drivers is caring about that now.
Exactly.
Or maybe he'll go into Formula E and grow Formula E to be as big, if not bigger, than Formula One.
Do you think Formula E is ever going to be as big as F1? Do you reckon there'll be a day when F1 actually has to stop because of the environmental impact?
I don't. I think there's too much money in it.
I think for it to happen anytime soon, I think there's probably way too much money in it. I wouldn't write it off in maybe 20, 30 years.
I would love to see the future of sport in 20, 30 years. Even horse racing.
What the horse is going to be like.
What? Whose horse is that? Like horse racing, dog racing, I think all of those sports are going to slowly diminish and they're just not going to be allowed to happen anymore.
Yeah. Like I don't know.
I don't know.
I agree.
It might happen. I'm not saying I'm for that or against it. I'm just thinking like
I think the only thing that could potentially keep those things around is tradition. I feel like those would be really hard for some people to let go.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. When you look back at other traditions like fox hunting, all these other big like old traditional sports that people did for years and years. Fox hunting now, you're not legally allowed to do it. You have to chase a scent and stuff. So people still do it,
just modified it in a different way.
Yeah, But like, you know, they can phase the shit out. I don't know. It depends. There's a lot of things that can happen for that, but
I'd like to see Formula E racing on the same tracks as Formula 1.
Yeah.
I love the idea of Formula E, but it does, like, for example, the London XL track. It looks amazing, and the idea of it is really cool, but I feel like it in my head, it makes it less of an event because it's not at Silverstone.
Yeah.
It makes it, in my head, I don't take it as seriously because it's not at Silverstone.
Yeah, and it's also like the XL is just an exhibition centre where they have shitloads of things, and it's just like, it's just another event at the XL.
Yeah.
Whereas when it comes to Silverstone, it's like, it's the British Grand Prix. This is where it's at.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's got a home.
Yeah.
Surely it will, and hopefully it will get to that point, I guess, with like, I guess, the improvement of the cars and the technology. Because I think the biggest thing is like the tracks are a lot shorter.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, and I guess that's because of the battery capacity. But I guess that's only going to improve with time. So hopefully we get some bigger, longer tracks.
Do they make noises when they go around? They do. Formula E cars make noise.
It's mainly the motor noise, I think.
That was it.
They're really loud.
Yeah. Not as loud as F1 cars, obviously, because they're insane. But yeah.
No. Meow.
No, exactly.
They make a really like
a lightsaber.
No, it's like a high pitch, isn't it? Just like a high pitch.
It's super high pitch.
Yeah.
Like Scalextrics.
Exactly.
Maybe, have you ever thought about actually Formula E is just someone upstairs playing Scalextrics?
It's yeah.
When you say someone upstairs, you mean in the simulation?
In the simulation, Elon.
Nice. Elon.
Elon Musk.
Elon is Elon's brother.
Elon.
Brother. There we go. Formula 1.
Good. Wrapped on that topic. The next topic I have is Instagram updates.
Update and then unupdate.
What's the opposite to update?
Undate.
Undate.
Downdate.
Downdate.
Update.
Update.
What do we think about the new Instagram update? I, for one, think it's just...
I, for one, have no input because I never actually got the update.
Have you seen all the videos that...
I did see
some.
Josh showed me his phone. He was fuming.
I did not like it. They've removed it now, haven't they? They've like
revoked it.
Yeah, they've revoked the update.
Well, he did say that it's just a test for now. But I think when I say update, the whole direction that Instagram is going in.
Can you...
It's terrible.
From your point of view, can you just give the people who don't know what happened in the update and also the way in which Instagram's moving forward, give us a bit of a quick background?
So basically, Instagram is moving more to a video-focused platform. Mm-hmm. Well, they say that they're not, but they are, because of how popular TikTok has become. So they're changing the UI around so that the videos and the content takes up the whole screen, or at least more of the screen. And they're just prioritizing video mostly now. They've taken away IGTV, which is, some would say, fair enough because who really watch IGTV. But they're basically making it so that Reels are more dominant. If you want to grow, you kind of have to use Reels. And yeah, they're just, outside looking in, you could argue that they're just kind of neglecting photographers.
Mm-hmm. Which is what the platform started with.
Yeah. But then in everything that he puts out, they always say, no, we're keeping, like, photography is still going to be supported, and we want it, we're normally, like, we've always been a photo sharing app. That's what we started as. But in a few of his videos, he says, like, we have to stay in touch with how the world is changing and the direction that we're going in as a society. How, like, everyone is moving. They have to look at the data and they have to respond to the data that shows that people are more engaged with video, which I do get, but at the same time, it's like,
surely,
what was that?
You know, someone smashing up a car parking space. Surely, though, all right, Instagram, great, they're going to move more to video, but does that just mean there's a gap in market for a photo sharing app? Because people still want to share photos. Like, all of us will want to share photos. Like I personally, I only upload photos to my personal Instagram.
Me too.
I view a lot of video content, but I only upload photos. And there's probably millions of people like us. What does that mean for future creators?
I mean, I think it's sad, obviously, because like we all said, that's how we all share on Instagram. And it's like, you can go into a whole social media argument anyway, but like, for photographers, it's terrible. And I've already seen a couple of apps come out. There is an app now for film photographers called Greenwashing, and it's like a platform just for that. You like put in all your equipment and stuff, and so I think there's already apps popping up here and there. I mean, it'll take a while for some to land, but like I think people are tired of like Instagram as a platform anyway, because even before the whole like the real way of getting content, it was already becoming like a shopping app like Facebook.
Yeah.
Like I was getting an advert every like 2 or 3 stories for a product, and someone was selling a product. Why? Because they make a commission off selling it on there. And it's like, come on, I just want to like, the reason I'm on social media is so I can see what people are doing. And that's why I think, and the app like Be Real has done so well, and so many people are on it already. Like, it's just like raw, unfiltered, no adverts, social media for like a quote unquote good reason.
You look at it as Instagram want to start doing more reels, great. Like you said, it was all about the shopping, but then also one of the biggest things that they've kind of fucked up with was the whole algorithm thing. Like your feed is not the same as it used to be, because all they're doing is plugging you with more. Oh, you look at a boonie hat. Next thing you know, that's all I'm getting is boonie hat photos.
Yeah, literally.
I fucking love boonie hats, but come on, it's too much.
I think that's where TikTok nailed it, because as a creator, like it's so much easier to grow on TikTok.
Yeah,
it's much more organic.
But another thing, and I've only just thought about this again. I remember hearing, or someone I spoke to the other day or a little while ago, was that they kind of release these social media platforms, and they do have a bit of a lifespan. So you look at Facebook, right? Facebook came out, and that was for probably a bit older than my generation, maybe our parents' generation. They get into it, they love it. It's out for 10 years, then, or maybe 5 years. Then a new app pops up, Instagram. The young kids go on Instagram, they're on that, their lifespan finishes. The next batch of new kids are on TikTok, they're loving TikTok. We're kind of lucky because we kind of fit all of those genres. Probably not Facebook anymore. I mean, Facebook for me is kind of passed off, but Instagram and TikTok are where we're at. What's next after that? And every social media platform has a lifespan, and they're all just slowly dying off. Instagram's on its last legs, eventually, probably soon. Yeah. It's all going to be TikTok and maybe Be Real or just pop up again.
I think Be Real is going to do very, very well. If they're not, well, I'm pretty sure they're already doing very, very well.
Yeah. Apps like that confuse me, because like I don't know, obviously Instagram and Facebook and Meta as a company, they have to make money. But I don't know how Be Real make money, because there's no adverts or anything on there.
That's what I was just going to say. Like Instagram, when it first came out, everyone loved it.
Yeah,
and then
because there was no ads.
That's it. And then they kind of quote unquote sold out, and
went to Facebook.
Everything's and now Instagram is what it is. How long is it before Be Real quote unquote sell out? And it all goes up in flames. But I think Twitter, for any photographers watching, Twitter is low key one of the best places for photography. I think.
I agree.
It's amazing what you could make of it. I found that my Twitter was just inundated with just shit, just constant, just people moaning and videos of just like irrelevant meme stuff. And I realized it's not because Twitter's bad; it's because I was following idiots.
So you just tailored your following a little bit better.
Completely purged my following.
All right.
And was like, right, no, this sucks.
There's nowhere near as many ads either.
No, nowhere near as many. There's still ads on there.
So for those photographers, who could they be following? Just name a few that are good on there, because I have Twitter but I don't ever use it.
I think if you go to for example, the camera that you shoot on, say I shoot on the R5, if you hashtag Canon R5 and it will come up with loads of people sharing photos from the R5, and out of that you literally just scroll through, find the photos, and then obviously you'll come across the photographer if they've shared it. That's a good way that I found people. Is very community driven. So for example, when I got the Fuji, I typed in hashtag X100V and typed in Fuji, and it shows you everything related to what you've searched. And through that, I found so many Fuji photographers that are just like unbelievable. And then they share each other's work. And then when I follow them, the algorithm kicks in. It's like, oh, you followed this person. What about this person? They just
want you to look at more of them.
And it just showed, cool. Like, it doesn't like, it's not like Instagram where they'll serve you that content even though you're not following them.
Yeah.
It gives you a little nudge and says, oh, what do you want to check out these guys as well? And you can literally just hit the X and the whole thing will just disappear.
Mm.
So you don't really get force-fed the content. It's more of like a little nudge. But it's just such a productive place now, I found.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Joss?
What was the question?
Anyone in particular that you follow? Or are you a bit like Max where you follow a hashtag or you follow like a topic like that and you just...
To be honest, I can't even really name any of them. But like I've seen... I know I follow a couple. There's a guy who makes YouTube videos called Volandis, which I know Max has watched quite a bit. And I like Matt Day a lot, and there's a bunch of different people. But as soon as I just see some photos that I see that someone's taken, I just follow them.
Yeah.
Because then I just get all their photos in my feed, and it's after Max, because I know Max, you've spoken about this before in the office. Like I just absolutely canned like my feed because I was getting just so much like political stuff that I don't want to see on social media. Like I can go to the news if I want to stay up to date with stuff like that, but like just give me like the photography and inspiration and stuff like that I want. So
would you say it also inspires you to take more photos?
Yeah,
Like
definitely, 100%. And that's something that I just don't get from Instagram anymore. I barely ever see anyone's photography. And it's
true.
When I follow so many DOPs, photographers, all these different people, and I never see any of their work.
It's led me to not want to post on Instagram.
Yeah.
I've got photos from like backlogged from a year ago now that I still haven't shared on Instagram just because I'm like, I'm going to post it. No one's going to see it. Not that I'm only posting for people to see, but like it kind of sucks when you post it, especially as a creative where your job is to make stuff and then you post something that you've worked really hard on and 2 out of 700 people that you have following you see it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Flatline.
Yeah, literally.
God damn it.
I'd much rather post it to Twitter, where arguably it's not that more people are going to see it, but it's just cleaner and it's a nicer experience, and the people that do see it are more likely to engage with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily because you want people to be like, oh yeah, great photo or whatever, but it's nice to know, okay, yeah, that's been received. It's almost like a receipt notice.
Yeah.
Like, oh, someone favorited it. Oh, great, cool. It's out there. It's in the world. It's physical now. It exists. And other people know about it.
Well, that's what I'm going to check out Twitter now.
Good stuff, Dan.
I would recommend.
I think Instagram now, for me, the way I look at it, and something that I wanted to do for a while, is I'm just going to use it like a portfolio.
Yeah.
Just for like our video work. And like, I know a lot of people share stills of like projects that they've worked on, but like, might just use it for that, because obviously there's still a certain... The irony is, like you said, our generation right now is on Instagram and TikTok. There's definitely older people in our generation that are still on Instagram. They'll look at that to get you for work. I'm sure TikTok will replace that within the next few years. There's still people there that we can, show our work to for a while, and hopefully that goes somewhere. But I think we probably won't be using Instagram in a few years if it carries on the way it does.
Yeah, it's a shame because that's where I got all my clients from.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of my work was booked in through Instagram.
Weird.
Mad.
Very mad.
What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, I just think...
Social media is just gross, isn't it?
It's annoying because I see all of these issues, but I still go back to it.
Yeah.
Because they've got me right there. I'm right there in their palm. Instagram, this is their palm. That's me. Inside. I'm inside their palm and I'm loving it and I can't help it. I am like Augustus Gloop eating that chocolate cake on Matilda.
Nice.
Nom, nom, nom.
Nom, nom, nom. That actually leads me to the last thing, which is social media grinding to a halt. Do you think people are getting, or not necessarily social media, but traditional social media, i.e. Instagram and Facebook and all that, is it grinding to a halt now? Are people, new creators, are they staying on Instagram or are they moving elsewhere?
It's so hard because we find it as well, and I'm sure many other people do, that Instagram is, I think Instagram's kind of a platform that you upload a certain type of content. It's not a place where like TikTok content really goes, and TikTok isn't a place where Instagram content goes. So for us to kind of tailor our videos and our marketing to TikTok is really difficult. It's actually quite a tricky thing to kind of navigate, and I don't know if that's because of the age that I am, and I'm trying to work out what we kind of do to become funny or to become popular on the platform. But then you look at like the forum, Like Andy, we had a chat with Andy like ages ago before they were on TikTok, and they're like, oh, we don't know if we'll use it. And now they're using it religiously over and over and over again, and they're getting sales after sales through their page because they've just kind of cracked it. They worked out what worked for them, and it works so good that they're now making a lot of sales through that platform. It's a weird one. You just have to like grind it out, find your way, and just hammer it.
I know we said this the other day, Dan, but like I think you sent me the guy who runs Instagram's video about it, and the thing is, you've got to change your way of working and doing things. It feels like every 3 months, every 3 to 6 months, you've got to be like, right, we shouldn't really post many stills now because they're not going to go anywhere. In terms of Ottr and a brand, everything that we should do really should be Reels or TikTok, because that's what's getting the views and getting the interactions.
Ironically as well, we are also a video-based company, yet we don't post videos.
Well, yeah.
Because we've been using Instagram or whatever.
I think as well...
It's just tricky.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one. They take a longer time to make, I think, Reels and TikToks as well. Stills, 100%. It can be like, oh, here's some stills from recent projects. Yeah. Whack that up.
Grab that.
20 likes.
Boom.
I don't know. It's one of them, isn't it?
Annoying.
Well,
hopefully it's not been too much of a depressive ending. We've spoken about bloody greenwashing and how our Instagram feeds are shy and the downfall of social media, but hopefully the people who are listening to this can somewhat agree or disagree.
Yeah, actually, let us know your thoughts. Yeah. If you think differently, tell us why. Please tell us why. I think we would all like to hear some fresh takes on it, if you agree.
Talking about feedback, actually, and social media, we uploaded a small TikTok of me saying that I couldn't believe baby oil was made out of babies. We uploaded that to TikTok. It got 600 views, and it's got something like 10 comments, every single one of them saying, why do these guys have a podcast? So if you think the same, fuck off. Joking. Just be cool. Be Real, actually. If you want to catch me on Be Real, name's Ottr Dan. Add me.
Are you here for it? You'll Be Real
now. Should we sign it off with everyone taking a Be Real? Because it's time to be real.
Is it? Time to be real. It's time to be real. Also, that TikTok did really well on Instagram because we made it a reel as well. All right, time to be real, everybody. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast.
Let's be real.
Add us all up on Be Real.
Sort my hair out.
Add us on Be Real. It's the new platform. If you're not on it, get on it. Instagram, if we're on it, Ottr Works, Ottr Dan, MH Barham, Jasensen. Facebook, you won't find me on there because it's dead.
Yeah.
TikTok, we're on there, Ottr Works. If you see us on TikTok, make sure you send us horrible comments because that's what we love. Yeah. Have a great evening or day wherever you are in the world. If you're in a different part of the world to where we are right now, send us a message.
Yeah.
See you there.
Cheers, then.
Bye.
Cheers, then.